So let's talk about microneedling. You've probably heard of it, right? It's one of the most talked about procedures in skincare. And yeah, it involves needles. It sounds a little wild, I know, but stick with me. By the end of this, you are going to understand the fascinating science of how it actually rejuvenates your skin.
I mean, it just sounds backwards, doesn't it? How in the world can poking your face with tiny needles lead to smoother, healthier-looking skin? Well, that is the big question we're going to answer today. And it turns out there's some pretty brilliant science at play here that actually taps into your body's own amazing healing powers.
So here's the game plan. We'll start with the basics, what microneedling actually is. Then we're going to geek out a little bit on the science of how it works. After that, we'll walk through the whole journey from start to finish and wrap it all up with the most important stuff you need to know about safety.
Okay, let's dive right in. Part 1. What exactly is microneedling when you get down to it? The magic word on this slide is controlled. This isn't about causing random damage at all. It's a really precise, minimally invasive technique that creates these tiny, controlled injuries to kick off a very specific healing response. That's why you'll also hear it called collagen induction therapy. Its entire purpose is to induce your skin to make more collagen. And why are people so into it? Well, look at this list. It tackles some of the most common things that bother us about our skin, from smoothing out fine lines and wrinkles to seriously improving the look of acne scars and even helping with hyperpigmentation and just general uneven skin texture. Its applications are pretty darn broad.
Okay, so we know what it is and what it's for. But how? How do those little micro-injuries actually lead to better skin? This is where the biology gets really, really cool. That name you see right there, collagen induction therapy. It's not just a fancy medical term, it literally tells you the whole story. The key word is induction. We're not just treating the skin from the outside, we're tricking it into kickstarting its own internal collagen-making factory.
So it all happens in this amazing 3-step process. First, the injury. The needles make those tiny controlled channels deep into the dermis. Step 2 is the response. This little injury sends a signal to your body like, hey, we need some repairs over here, and it activates its natural healing process. And then, step 3 is the rebuild. Your skin cells go into overdrive, making brand new collagen and elastin. And you can think of those as the building blocks that give your skin its firmness and bounce. Your skin is literally rebuilding itself from the inside out.
But wait, there's more. There's another huge benefit. Those microchannels we just talked about, they act like tiny little pathways. And because of that, any skincare products you put on right after, like a serum, can be absorbed up to 80% more effectively. It's like opening thousands of tiny doors so the good stuff can get way deeper and do its job.
So we've covered the science. Now let's get practical. What does this whole journey actually look and feel like for someone who decides to get it done? Okay, first things first, and this is super important. Microneedling isn't for everybody. It's fantastic for things like acne scars and fine lines. But as you can see, there are some really important reasons to avoid it. If you have any active infections, a history of severe keloid scarring, or if you're pregnant, it's a no-go. A professional consultation is the only way to know for sure if you're a good candidate. The procedure itself is pretty straightforward. It all starts with a really good cleanse. Then, a numbing cream is usually put on for about 20 or 30 minutes just to make sure you're comfortable. After that, the practitioner moves the microneedling pen across your skin in a very specific pattern to make sure everything is treated evenly. And it usually finishes with applying a special serum to take advantage of that incredible 80% absorption boost we just talked about.
All right, treatment's done, high five. What happens next? Let's talk about the good stuff, the results, and what the recovery process is really like.
Right after you're done, expect your skin to look and feel like you got a little too much sun. That is totally normal. For the first day or two, it's all about being gentle. No makeup, stay out of the sun, and use super gentle cleansers. But the real magic starts to happen over the next few weeks as all that new collagen gets to work. You'll start to notice your skin feeling tighter and the texture getting smoother. And just remember, for the really big stuff like deep scars or wrinkles, this is a marathon, not a sprint. It usually takes a series of treatments to see those major changes.
It's also really important to know what to expect with side effects. Things like redness, a bit of swelling, maybe some tiny pinpoint bleeding, that's all common and expected. On the other hand, serious complications like an infection or changes in pigmentation are very rare, especially when the procedure is done correctly by a qualified pro in a sterile setting.
And that brings us to our final, and honestly the most critical part of this whole conversation, safety, and the key things you absolutely need to remember.
Okay, everybody lean in. If you only take away one single thing from our chat today, please let it be this. This is not a DIY weekend project. The safety and the effectiveness of this procedure depend entirely on the skill of the person doing it. They need to know skin anatomy inside and out and be incredibly strict about infection control.
So, let's wrap this all up. What do you need to remember? First, this is a journey, not a one-and-done miracle. Results build over several sessions. Second, the real power here is that it's triggering your skin's own natural healing ability. Third, what you do after the treatment is just as important as the treatment itself for a good outcome. And finally, and I'm going to say it one more time, going to a licensed trained professional is completely non-negotiable.
You know, when you think about it, microneedling really just shines a spotlight on our skin's incredible innate ability to repair itself. It kind of makes you wonder, right? As we get smarter and learn more about these biological processes, what other amazing innovations are just around the corner? What's next for tapping into our body's own regenerative power? It's a pretty exciting frontier in the science of skincare.